boy murdered his millionaire father.
I had no idea he was this nuts.
And even his own mother testified against him. And an NFL game turns violent in the stands. How this wild brawl escalated after a slap in the face. Also, where we spotted embattled former Jeopardy host Mike Richards for the first time since stepping down as the search for his replacement ramps up. Plus, how internet sensation Jake Paul is trying to come back from his scandal-plagued past.
It was going to be a dead end.
Now, DailyMail.com, the world's most read newspaper website, brings you DailyMailTV. Hi, everybody. It's great to have you with us, and welcome to the show. We do want to begin today hearing from the loved ones of unvaccinated Americans who lost their lives to COVID-19. Paige Ruiz was 9 months pregnant with her second daughter when she caught the coronavirus. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl, but then died from complications due to COVID-19 before she could even hold that child. Well, now her grieving mother is sharing a very cautionary tale.
It's been very difficult.
Robin Zinsu had a tough conversation with her daughter Paige, who was pregnant with her second child.
I kept asking her, have you talked to the doctor about, getting the vaccine? And she said, no, Mom, I'm going to wait till after I have the baby.
1 week before her due date, Paige contracted COVID-19. Her doctors delivered her daughter in an emergency C-section, but Paige never had a chance to hold her. She died in the hospital from complications of the disease.
She was texting her friends and her sisters, if you know anybody who's not vaccinated, beg them to get vaccinated. And that's Paige's last message.
We thought, well, we're young and healthy. It'll be okay.
Christina Teedmore and her husband Josh thought they were low risk for catching the coronavirus, so they didn't get vaccinated. But Josh, at just 36 years old, died after 1 month of fighting COVID-19.
She would call time, and she would ask for a pulse, and they would say no pulse.
Christina is now left to raise their children on her own.
He wasn't a smoker. He was healthy, and the virus just destroyed his lungs.
Yeah, this is horrible. I love my boys.
Lisa Brandon is living a parent's worst nightmare. She lost her 2 adult sons, Aaron and Free, in just 12 hours to COVID-19. All 3 lived together when coronavirus infected their home, but Lisa was vaccinated. She is the only one who survived the disease.
I believe they would be alive today if they would have got their shot. And, they wouldn't have got it as bad. And I just wished I could have made them do it. But now it's too late.
The FDA has now granted Pfizer's COVID vaccine full approval. More than 200 million doses of that vaccine are already injected into the arms of Americans. And now New York City is going to be requiring all education staff get a vaccination. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump was hit with a chorus of boos while at a rally in Mobile, Alabama, after he attempted to encourage his supporters there to get vaccinated against COVID-19.
I believe totally in your freedoms. I do. You got to do what you have to do. But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines. But no, that's okay. That's all right. You got your freedoms. But I happen to take the vaccine.
White House correspondent David Martosco is joining us now from Virginia with more on this. And David, that is not a sound that the former president is used to hearing, boos.
Definitely not, Thomas. He used to shout down protesters, but these are his own people. The former president has urged people since at least March to get vaccinated, and he took credit for funding the vaccine's development and rushing the first 100 million doses to doctors. Trump isn't the only Republican trying to push conservatives to see the effectiveness of the jab. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has recovered after battling COVID-19, and now he's telling anybody who will listen that he might not have been so lucky.
I'm told that my infection was brief and mild because of the vaccination that I received.
Texas is in the middle of its 4th COVID surge, and about 56% of Texans have had at least 1 shot. That puts it in 27th place among U.S. states, according to the Mayo Clinic.
Now, despite all of this, the governor, Abbott, is currently in a legal battle between 2 local officials regarding children wearing masks in school. For now, though, the Texas Supreme Court ruled against Abbott and schools, and they can continue to enforce mask wearing, at least for now. Our David Martosco reporting. David, thank you very much. Well, we move on now to a wild brawl at an NFL preseason game in Pittsburgh, but it wasn't with the guys on the field. It actually happened in the stands after a woman slapped a man in the face. And just take a look, but a warning for you, this is pretty hard to watch. Our senior reporter Jen Smith is joining us now from our New York newsroom with more on this one. And Jen, this is just stunning because it got out of hand so quickly. Do we know what caused the woman to hit the man in the first place?
No, Thomas, we really don't know what started this fight, but ever since this video of it went viral, it has received lots of attention. Now, as you mentioned, it began with this woman, a female fan, hitting another male fan, but everyone around them quickly piled in and fists went flying. Now, eventually, stadium security did get involved to defuse the situation. One person you can see there was really keen to make sure that they knew it was the woman who started all of this. Pittsburgh police are now investigating the incident, and they have asked for the public's help in identifying the people in the video.
It is just stunning, incredible. And this is the second fan fight in less than 2 weeks after two men got into it at a Los Angeles Rams and Chargers game recently. And look at this one. Let's leave the physical contact to the people on the field. That's where they expect the big hits in the action, not in the stands. Our Jen Smith reporting. Thank you, Jen. Well, next for you, recently ousted Jeopardy host Mike Richards is spotted out for the very first time since he stepped down in this new role over his past sexist and offensive comments once they were exposed. Senior correspondent Alicia Quarles is joining me now in New York with more on this one. And Alicia, Mike Richards was named as the new host a little while ago, but then these past remarks came to light and he quit within just a matter of days. Now what for Richards?
Well, it seems like the drama surrounding his quick stint as Jeopardy host is not getting to him, at least on the outside, Thomas. All right, so we spotted Richards looking carefree out in L.A. with his wife Stephanie and another friend of theirs. Despite the recent headlines, they seem to be enjoying themselves. So we know that Jeopardy is actually resuming their search for hosts, and Ryan Reynolds has made it clear who he wants. You know, Thomas, he tweeted about how fans really came after Marvel and the movie studio to help get him cast. It actually worked. It went out. He's putting his support behind fan favorite LeVar Burton.
Yeah, he really is, and LeVar was one of the many incredible guest hosts that had the opportunity to try out, all of whom received way more support than Mike Richards did. So hopefully they go back to the drawing board here and pick one of those original fill-ins for this one. Alicia Quarles, keep us posted on this. Thank you very much. Well, next for you, Jake Paul is saying that boxing has changed him for the better. Now, this as the scandal-plagued internet sensation preps for his upcoming match against former UFC champ Tyrone Woodley. He took a pause from training to talk to our own reporter, Caitlin Becker, about what life's like now that he's discovered a more productive passion and if he's nervous ahead of this next big fight.
I've always wanted to make history. I've always wanted to leave an impact.
With over 16 million Instagram followers and 20 million subscribers on YouTube, it's safe to say Jake Paul has already made an impact. Not all of it positive.
The latest trouble for Jake Paul. He's the YouTube star facing controversy now.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home.
More outrageous footage is emerging from an out-of-control party at a mansion in California.
With scandals piling on as recently as last year, the former Disney Channel star admits he was headed towards a legacy of infamy.
I was going down this like weird, dark path that's like Hollywood young teenage star, and it wasn't good. It was going to be a dead end.
Jake says it was boxing that pulled him out of that negative spiral and gave him the routine and discipline to face down his demons.
For that, like, I literally owe boxing my life.
Are you looking forward to being kind of a different version of yourself?
I think as a society, we have to let people learn, let people grow from their mistakes and become different people. If you're able to yell at someone or reprimand someone or, you know, criticize someone for their actions, then you should also be able to be patient with them and see if there's change, see if they learned from that mistake.
With a professional boxing record of 3-0, Jake is fairly confident he'll snag this bout as well.
There is not a chance that he beats me.
Clearly you're good with some smack talk when you want to be.
Gotcha.
Do you get nervous at all? Are you worried when you step into the ring? Like when the cameras are off, like how do you actually feel about this?
You know, the same way as when the cameras are on, believe it or not.
If I beat you, you have to get I Love Jake Paul tattooed on you.
One of the biggest tattoo artists, she is coming to the fight, and I'm sending her to his locker room after the fight to get the tattoo.
But you're that confident that he is getting that tattoo and you are not?
100%. It's going to be a historic night, and I'm going to knock him out.
Reporter Caitlin Becker is joining us now from Los Angeles with more. And Caitlin, what do you think on this one? Has this ultimate bad boy really turned a new leaf?
I don't know. I would like to say maybe yes. I mean, Thomas, Jake's really come a long way from the days of telling kids to drop out of school to become influencers. He started his own nonprofit, Boxing Bullies, and Jake tells me that the goal is really simple, to get as many kids involved in the sport as possible, to teach them leadership, discipline, and to help them stay out of trouble. As we know, he, knows a thing or two about trouble. Jake told me that he knows he's never going to be that squeaky clean role model. He's self-described problem child, but he seems really happy with how things are going and told me that he feels like boxing saved his life.
Yeah, a lot of times you got to make your mess your message and bounce back from it. And for those people out there that want to stream one of the most anticipated fights of the year, Jake Paul squaring off against Tyrone Woodley in Cleveland, Ohio. That will be on August the 29th. Caitlin Becker, keep us posted on this one, and we shall see who wins. Thank you very much. All right, everybody, please stay with us. We've got much more Daily Mail TV on the way.
Later, why this trust fund golden boy murdered his millionaire father.
I had no idea he was this nuts.
And even his mother testified
with the Safari Lodge called the Homestead. Now, the luxury lodge combines 21st century tech with 19th century architecture to blend in with its just breathtaking surroundings. And the goal of the reserve is sustainability, building a solar farm that will actually power everything on that property to be more eco-friendly. You might even see a lion or two, a giraffe, who knows, but keep your eyes peeled. Now, at the foot of the Monte Rosa Massif is a mountain refuge that is like none other out there. Now, in order to get to this very unique place, one must carefully hike up the Gorner Glacier and take in the magnificent views of the Swiss Alps. Housing up to 120 guests per night, the Monte Rosa hut can produce 90% of its own energy, and it is definitely something that you need to check out. Now, coming to you from a galaxy far, far away, Disney World is building a Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser for a 2-night voyage that you can take. So immerse yourself in the world of Star Wars in any of the 100 cabin and suites as you look out your cabin window to see the different ships and planets all around. Now, when you're done lounging, you can eat at any of the onboard restaurants to experience different foods from around the galaxy. And don't forget to come dressed as a Jedi, because you never know who you're going to run into. Jabba the Hutt, especially if you go to one of his joints. Now, ready, set, blast off to Mars, because NASA is looking for crew members for a year-long mission. This mission is set to begin in 2022, and you'll be living on Mars as NASA studies human responses to the different environments of the Martian planet to help prep for potential future space flights and maybe even residence there. The company Icon is currently working on building the Mars Dune Alpha, a 1,700 square foot module, which will serve as your main base throughout that journey and stay. How cool is that? And that is what seriously
job and get his head together. That's when things went wrong and Tommy killed his father.
Hello, ma'am. You said your husband was shot? Yes. By whom? My son, who is nuts. But I didn't know he was this nuts.
Born to Manhattan high society, the son of a Wall Street hedge fund manager with model good looks, Tom Jr., or Tommy, seemed to have it all. And while often portrayed as a rich, spoiled man-child who indulged in drugs, the author of a new book about the murder believes there's more to the story than social matters or money.
I think Tommy had issues psychologically about his father right from his early teens. He thought his father was trying to take over his body, was trying to take over his mind.
Tommy was arrested and charged with his 70-year-old father's gruesome murder, but defense lawyers argued he was unfit to stand trial.
He was ruled incompetent at one point, and then it was challenged by the prosecution, with the judge finding Tommy competent.
During his 2019 trial, evidence tying him to the murder weapon was irrefutable, despite Tommy trying to stage the shooting as a suicide. The jury believed Tommy knew what he was doing at the time of the crime, because when he arrived at his parents' apartment, he asked his mother to go out and buy him a sandwich and Coke, leaving him alone with his father.
The mother admitted that, in fact, they never had Coke in the house. And that was the red flag for the jury, the smoking gun, because they figured Tommy would have known that there was no Coca-Cola in the house.
Tommy was convicted for the January 2015 killing and is serving a 30-year-to-life sentence. Through it all, his mother, Shelley, supported her son, even though she was a witness for the prosecution.
She knew he had mental issues, and she wanted him to get his treatment. So she was really torn between both sides, which was awful for her.
A mystery woman also stood by Tommy at trial. John discovered it was Lila Chase.
She is, in fact, the niece of Chevy Chase, And she was very, very close to Tommy, and her family were for a couple of years when Tommy was, not so bad.
Throughout the trial and the years leading up to it, John says Tommy, now 37, displayed obvious signs of mental imbalance, including courtroom outbursts, asking the jury to declare him innocent.
He didn't seem to know where he was a lot of the time. There was an argument, which I think the judge saw, that Tommy was putting on an act. For me, being an impartial witness writing the book, I don't think it was an act.
In the end, it's all about justice being served, and in John's opinion,
it was, in a way, a travesty of justice. He should have been given treatment. Unfortunately, he sort of fell through the system.
John Glatt's book, Golden Boy, A Murder Among the Manhattan Elite, is available now.